Welcome everyone to the L7C podcast, Dragon Ball edition. Today we are talking about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, talking about a little of the Dragon Ball rights dispute that we have not talked about on the channel, talk about DBS hype, and we got some miscellaneous things that we're gonna hit today on the maybe when this comes out, the exact day, 4 year anniversary of the L7C pod, which started with Dragon Ball. We got the Dragon Ball expert, Mr. Mitchell. So how you doing today, man?
Oh, fantastic as always. Glad to be here. What is the exact date for the anniversary?
Your first episode went out August 26, 2020.
26. So today's the 21st for
Mhm.
everyone listening. So we're going to try to cheat that out and, give the great producers, Justin and Byron and anyone else who might maybe you sneakily got someone else working here, but regardless,
Right.
everyone who's put in their time and effort into the L7C, we appreciate it. And well, they have they can chill and relax, and maybe we'll get this out on the 26th. That'd be pretty appropriate, pretty good.
Yeah. And by the
Now,
time you are listening to this episode, you've already listened. If you listen to all the other ones that we've already passed 500 episodes total in 4 years. So, Mitch, how does that make you feel that you were the first episode out of 500 plus now?
yeah, makes me feel just grateful that we can continue to do all this. And while I might have been the first, I mean, plenty of people have contribute either as much or even more to various different topics that the L7C has discussed. So I'm just grateful to have been the kickstart or part of the kickstart to get this ball rolling, but just glad to be a part of the family. So
Mm.
now for
Oh,
yourself, when next year comes along and we'll do the 5 year anniversary, are you going to get everyone together in August, you think?
yeah, I've actually been thinking about that today, actually, about since we hit 500 episodes and this is the 4 year anniversary. And then I've thought about like when we hit a listening milestone that we're close to getting, what we should do for that and the 5 year anniversary. So I've thought about a group one talking about like, oh my gosh, 5 years, and don't want to say what listening amount we're trying to get to, but hopefully we get to it by the end of the year, close to it. And then I've thought about like, oh, maybe I should do something, an episode on why I reached out to each person who's ever been on multiple podcasts, why I chose that person to do stuff. Like I've actually been thinking about that today.
The thing is, I know you couldn't do it with everybody, but you could potentially even do some in-person interviews
I would
next year
admit.
because you know how August and even early September you actually do get to meet up with a lot of the L7C for dual day
Mhm.
or fantasy football
Yep.
draft or whatnot. So yeah, you'll have that opportunity as well to kind of touch base on a more personal level with most of these people right in front of your face. So,
That is true. That is true. Those 2 days in August in particular gets about 75 to 80% of people
mhm.
who do stuff. So that actually is a good idea. I'll definitely write that down.
Yep, yep. So
But
there we
we got
go.
some Dragon Ball going on. GamesCon is going on, another gaming fest. And Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero. Sparking Zero is continuing their world tour. They dropped 3 little trailers this past couple days. They dropped the 50-day trailer, so this game is literally 50 days away. They dropped a development and talking to the devs trailer where IGN's talking to the devs, and a little gameplay overview where they showed some more gameplay. This time, I think it's funny, Mitch, in the gameplay one, the one match they showed, which we have talked about on this podcast, that was in the manga but not in the anime. It was Ultimate Gohan versus Kefla.
Yeah, that they did showed some good gameplay and yeah, just kind of unique that they would show a manga fight and not the anime fight, but hell, I'm all about it. So kudos to them for, making that decision and I don't know.
No, I mean
in
that's just
homage.
really, yeah, it's just cool. Like when people like, oh, why would they show that? Then if again, there's people who watch the anime and didn't watch the manga, so they had no idea that that
Yeah,
fight even
that's just
happened.
it. Yeah, they might even just think that's just fan service, but in
Hmm.
actuality, that fan service was already served, and they just need to just catch up. So, yeah,
I will say one thing in our little notes thing, did post a picture because this is the one thing that Sparking Zero has been getting a lot of crap for so far is the character selection screen. It just, I, you're a gamer, so you just thoughts on it because,
it's an eyesore.
yeah,
It almost can cause an aneurysm. It's just like, I mean, if you have any sort of desire to be organized with anything in your life, I mean, when you're working on stuff, you have folders that are divided up for, different things, whatever you might be, whether it be, let's say you were doing budget, you're doing finances, you're separating your entertainment from your bills and your fun and your blah, 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 whatever. Or if you're organizing a shelf, you have one section, maybe, I mean, maybe you do it all alphabetical, but maybe you do it by, genre, and then, you access that folder, that shelf, whatever it is, and then you can expand more on that. With how the character selection screen is here, and that everybody's transformation is its own character,
yeah,
it is to see, Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan whatever. It's just too much. I'd rather just have a character name, let me click on that, and then if these transformations are to be their own specific character, that's fine, but just let me then condense this look. Because at this point, all it is just you might think that the character list, the selection list is ginormous, but it's it's deceiving per se. I mean, like I'm looking down here. There's perfect cell and then there's super perfect cell. And and I'm just like, you could have just done cell and then let me then view the four, not just smack dab in my face. Like I'm actually waiting to see here Frieza's first three forms,
yeah.
you
So
know?
this dev one that they had was the one that they allowed, like the preset build that they allow people to play, because they already announced like there's Frieza Super, which is right there that they're showing, Frieza and Golden Frieza. But they have Frieza from Z, who has first form, second form, third form, final form, full power final form, and Mecha Frieza.
Hmm.
But it's just like the screen. I just don't understand like where you just can't click like Goku, like you just can't click on Goku. And then if you want to pick like the Super Saiyan forms, you could pick it instead of just like lining them all like that. Because if you want to pick someone else, like on Goku and Vegeta take up a whole page.
Yeah, they do. They do. They take up four rows, and then you got grade eight form Vegeta over there. Like,
Hmm.
are we going to add Goku's grade eight form, and are we going to add Gohan's? I mean, why not? Why the fuck not?
I mean, Goku has three Super Saiyan ones. He has like the Super Saiyan one he hit when he fought Frieza, the Mastered Super Saiyan one, and then the Super Saiyan one from Super.
I mean, look how many base forms they got.
Hmm.
Base looking forms, and heck, just on this photo that you had sent, it's probably out there though. But like, don't even see Ultra Instinct.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you got more of those. There is one thing that I am pondering what the meaning is behind it. So if you look at the background for most of these characters,
Hmm.
the drape that's on the back is just like this, darkish gray, dark blue kind of tint to it.
Hmm.
If you see, there are select individuals who have like an orange background to them. So
Hmm.
you have Goku.
Hmm.
One of Goku's Super Saiyan transformations has one.
Hmm.
I first noticed it with Beerus, and the bottom right of this photo has a has an orange background, and then in the center it looks like I mean semi-perfect cell, and then a Majin Buu selection is one of them's gold. So I just don't know if maybe that's the cursor
Hmm.
highlighting over that character, but like uh, that's what I'm pondering. What in the world's going on there?
It's a good thing I didn't even.
Again,
I
it's probably
didn't.
just character selection because it seems. I think that's what it is. I think as whoever was taking these photos, they started with Goku on the far left photo at top there, and then they scrolled down all the way until they didn't see the people in the first photo, and then they just coincidentally were on semi-perfect cell. So I digress. I finally figured it out. But
That's good. But this game is coming out 50 days. Well, now 40 some days from now. They've been releasing trailers every month. This August was the Cell Saga. So probably September they're gonna do the Boo Saga and probably Super. Or they'll do Super right before the launch. Because usually these big video games do like a launch release trailer.
hmm
And they still have not announced who the secret bonus character is yet when you pre-order the game, which still a mystery. I mean, I don't expect much. I just think it's going to be like Beast Gohan early access or something like that. But
yeah,
they're waiting. And I know there's some fans waiting like I want to know who the secret character is before I pre-order this thing.
yeah, they better hurry up,
Yeah, 40 some
get it
days.
out there so people can actually decide if they're actually going to pre-order this shit. Because
Yep.
you also want those pre-orders in as fast as you can, just so that you can
Hmm.
actually, you know,
Yeah, especially the month of October because they won't. Obviously, they'll be the biggest game, but they won't be the only game that's in media content that comes out in October.
feel
But we'll see.
that's
We'll see how
true.
they go. So, Mitch, this is something we actually haven't talked about on the pod, really. There actually is some big Dragon Ball stuff going on behind the scenes with the rights disputes and all of that. Obviously, we talked about in March when Akira Toriyama passed away unexpectedly to most of the world. But unfortunately, when he passed away, there is a thing of who's in charge of the Dragon Ball IP now, like what's going on. There's a battle going on behind the scenes between Mr. Yoku, basically Toriyama's his friend, his guy, and he used to be Shueisha, who he used to be the former head of, which now they've separated ways, about who's going to be in control really of the Dragon Ball IP, which you and I know has made billions with a B, billions of dollars. So whoever gets control, it's a very important thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm rooting for Ioku. Fuck Shueisha. F them. Totally not Mark. If you're listening, if you listen to this podcast, I support you. Wish you the best. And F them. Nah. Like, it's just, I mean, uh, you essentially just kind of gotta trust, what Toriyama like what he was feeling and who his friends were and who he trusted, and it's you know Yoko, if I pronounce his name correctly, uh, you know, but just hoping that everything falls into his hands and that he can treat the IP well and continue on um with 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 this product in a respectable and fantastic way. And but yeah, a lot of a lot of drama that just apparently Toriyama must not have figured out before his passing, but kind of a little shocking that you had a $1 billion franchise. And with respect, I mean, he was pushing his 70. I think he was 69, or he was
Hmm.
going to be 69. It's like I'm kind of in shock that that was not truly set in stone who was going to run this. But
Yeah.
I mean, unexpected death just causes unexpected problems. So
Yeah. And like the article that everyone has really seen that was translated by Chronicles that was in the Weekly Toyo magazine. So this stuff is public now. So it's public in Japan, public to us. It's talked about like Toriyama's family's gonna have to make the decision eventually on who's gonna run this thing.
Yep.
And I don't like that's really a tough thing for a family to decide if there was no prior instructions. I don't know, maybe I don't know if it's big in Japan or whatnot. Like why? Again, I don't know if there was like a will in place, like, or if there was something written with attorneys that like when he passed away, like I'm surprised none of that stuff has popped up yet.
Yeah. In due time, though, we're just essentially now waiting for all of that to show its ugly head. But
Hopefully it gets resolved. I mean, every different person has a rights to this. This person has rights to the manga. This person has rights to the game. This person has right to this and that and this. So hopefully it all comes together. I mean, we're still waiting on the manga to come back. We're still waiting for the anime to come back. I saw a crazy stat. Let me find that if I can about like how long it's been like since the anime. I just want to make sure I find forward to when then. I just want to find. I know I liked it on Twitter. This is the things when you don't have everything saved. Oh, dun, dun, dun. Come on. Mhm. Fucking for for nope, no, no, no. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. All right. This is a crazy stat. It's been 2,340 days since the DBS anime ended.
man, that's some shit that we used to like say whenever it was like Michigan hasn't beat
Hmm.
Ohio State in, 3,649 days and counting and kind of shit like that. And oh my God, what a way to throw up like in your mouth. That's fucking horrible.
Yeah, it's still crazy to think that that's been that long. I mean, shoot, the last chapter was March, chapter 103, where all the Saiyans were really fighting each other and all that. But 2,340 days, I mean, 2018, oof, that is a very long time.
You know, that it is. And well, I better get off. I better figure out all this shit and get. Oh my God, we need an anime back.
Well, I mean, we will get Daima. That's going to be new, and that's
You
well, Sparking Zeros in 50 days. I mean, Daima. I mean, even though Daima hasn't had an official release for the normal people, it comes out the week before for that special event. So that's in 40 something days.
yeah, it's weird that you say that because you just don't think about it, and then you think it takes forever to arrive, but then all of a sudden, just it's right here and it just catches up to you. Or we sit here, 7 years later, like, why isn't this shit returned yet? Just time, time flies.
I
Time
mean,
flies.
by the time we record next month we'll probably know the exact date Daima's starting.
I doubt it.
A month before the show?
This is going to be some gosh damn, Dragon Ball like hero kind of shit where it just comes out of nowhere at 9 in the morning. Just fucking here's
Jesus.
your here's your promotional anime.
That would be I don't know, man. That would be crazy. I mean, with all
Yeah,
these rumors going on that they're finally doing what you've been asking for almost 10 years, exploring the demon realm and more Majins are going to be in it. Like, there's a lot of rumors swirling, so we're going to find out in 40 some days.
yeah, that we will.
Also with legal, man, we're really talking about some legal stuff. Dragon Ball Hype is back on social media. I mean, before he disappeared, his last tweet was 5/27/24, And his first tweet back was 7/30, 2024, when Sparking Zero dropped the Sand and Nama Saga trailer. He even said, "Feels good to be back." He disappeared for a bit, Mitch, and this isn't even from some random site. This is from IMDb about how he was allegedly exposed in court during Shonen Jump's leakers trial, saying that he was demanding a Tokyo-based company, Japan Deal World, into sending them the leaks of popular manga titles to exchange for promoting their company. And we know that, especially in the Dragon Ball world, everyone wants to be first. Everybody wants to be first on the rumors. Everyone wants to be first on the spoilers. Even if it's not even translated properly, everyone wants to post the stuff first, especially in Dragon Ball, how all these different Dragon Ball YouTubers and content creators are. I mean, Hype's one of the best, if not the best, in getting the stuff out. So, initial thoughts on him allegedly having to go to court, and now he's back.
It's just I find it interesting though that he was demanding this company send the leaks for the manga, like, and then as it said, in exchange for promoting their company, like, how much more promotion do you need if you have the manga ready for Dragon Ball? I mean, like, that is, I mean, it is the pinnacle of mangas. Like, I don't think you need DBS hype to, like, have success. I don't. I'm kind of in shock that he had the power to basically just body up Japan Deal World. But I mean, that's that's wild. It really is wild. But yeah, just everyone's cutthroat, man. You either get it first or you're not first. I was going to be insultive to somebody, but I couldn't think of someone to insult, so I guess somebody missed the bullet there. But yeah,
Wow, but yeah, he's back promoting stuff. Probably came back when he's like, oh, sure, whatever's happening in court. We'll never know until it's all out in discovery. But he's like, yeah, I need to get back to work. Sparking Zero's coming out and all that shit. So I need to get to it.
I want to
Before
know.
we, were
I
you gonna
want to
say
know why
something?
he didn't post anything for 2 months. Because if no one knows who he is, why'd he stop?
I'm surprised he was in court, and that fact that IMDb said that his real identity is not known. Like, do they not? I mean, when you go to court, you put your hand. Well, in America court, because we don't know where hype even is. You put your hand on the Bible and you say your first and last name, and you got to tell the truth, or that's perjury.
I almost ponder if he hired a representative
Oh, and went on his
and then
behalf.
they just went in on his behalf. I don't know. It's so weird because I don't think that um you know uh prosecutors can just force Twitter to reveal the identity of an individual. I don't even know if you can. I don't know if it's easy to fake like the information to create a Twitter account. I'm not in the business of, doing sketchy ass shit, so I couldn't test that. So I don't know. It's weird. It's real weird, but
That's true. Mitch, I do got something before we go to the miscellaneous stuff because you brought something up. Let me find it. You brought something up a couple months ago, and I'll lead into what all this is gonna make sense. So, how strong do you think Yancha is by the end of the Boo saga? And this is all gonna make sense.
uh-oh. I feel like I'm getting set up to get dunked on.
You're not getting set up. It's just we're gonna talk about one of the things you hate the most in like Dragon Ball specifically.
Mm. So end of Boo Saga Yamcha.
Yamcha.
Yamcha. I always like to start with full powered Namek Frieza. That's what
Okay.
I'm starting. Would I take Yamcha and the Buu Saga over Frieza?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly want to say no.
Okay. Okay.
I do
No.
not, because then I'm thinking, okay, so then am I taking Yamcha over Namek Super Saiyan 1 Goku, and I cannot get my brain wrapped around a Super Saiyan losing, like a Super Saiyan Goku losing to Yamcha. And I actually wanted to give Yamcha some props, but but now we're back to bashing, so it just I like um yeah, I can't.
Okay. Okay. No, that is fine. I know that is your
Yep.
usual benchmark.
All
The
right,
reason
bring the pain.
I asked that is because, and this is anime, because this wasn't in the manga, anime only. Yamcha in the other world, before Kid Buu started blowing everything up and was about to
Hmm.
kill everybody,
Yep.
he was sparring against Gorilla and Olibu, the blonde hair dude.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yep.
he was weaker still, but he was relative to Pycon. And Pycon beat the dog shit out of Perfect Cell. Probably one of the best introductions they've done. Beat the dog shit out of Perfect Cell, Frieza, King Cold, all of them. And if Yamcha was able to whoop his ass, in theory, he should be able to whoop Perfect Cell's ass. Just to go
No.
back to the thing you hate the most, power scaling in Dragon Ball.
Yep. Connecting those dots would imply that,
Yamcha is stronger than Perfect Cell.
yep. And who would have thought that in that case, if that is true, that in 7 years after Perfect Cell, Yamcha would have trained on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, or at least not that we know of. No hyperbolic time chamber, no, I would assume no gravity rooms, because the one time he did it, he got his ass smoked, and I would think that PTSD would make him never do that again. Um, and then it wasn't like he was dead long
Mm-hmm.
after Boo killed them all.
It's just funny. It's just funny because that thing it came up for fans wondering why I even asked that. It came up. We were talking about this thing. That it's a very topic that always comes around. Like, could Super Saiyan Goten beat Full Power Freezer? Or like Super Saiyan Kid Trunks beat Full Power Freezer? Then when you go through the power, Mitch says no. You go through the whole power grid connecting dots things, and then he saw some stuff about like what Beerus was talking about, and then it was just random. We
Mhm.
joke about spies. Randomly on my YouTube, it shows Yamcha beating Blondie's ass, and Blondie was going toe to toe with Pycon.
Yeah, but
It's
it
hilarious.
it it grinds your teeth, man. It makes them smaller just because it pisses you off. That sometimes these inconsistencies are just not fleshed out how it was.
It's just funny because I'm like, out of all people popping on my feed, because I don't remember the last time I watched a Yamcha video on YouTube. I think it was Yamcha and Tien from like, if I want to rewatch like the Tenkaichi tournament. But he's not someone who just I watch like for highlights. And so for him popping up, it was just funny.
Yeah, I was rewatching, to give Yamcha some credit. I did briefly rewatch his fight, with the Cybermen.
Hmm.
And even in a manga, he decides to fight them first.
Yeah.
And in the manga, he tells Krillin, he's like, "No, I'm gonna fight first because you already died." So it's like, okay, well, good thinking there, Yamcha. Good thing. I mean, he's kicking their ass.
Oh, just even think about. I mean, he just going back. If you want to talk about crazy, You're talking about when I talk about inconsistencies because they like you said he wasn't dead that long when Boo killed them all. The first
Hmm.
time when Nappa and the Cybermen smoked him, he wasn't dead that long, and Yamcha and them beat the dog shit out of the Ginyu Force, who Vegeta was not stronger than any of them besides Goldu until he healed up post like Ginyu swapping Goku's body. That's wild.
The only thing that I could say with that is that at least King Kai's plan, it's isn't his gravity, isn't his
Yeah,
gravity
it's
stronger?
like
I mean
10
that
or something. Yeah.
yeah, so that little bit of training could assist. I don't know if the scale is I find appropriate, but no, Yamcha fighting those Cybermen, I mean, I want to know okay, here's the good thing, here's the bad thing. The good thing is that, he fought first so that and then he got caught off guard by a Cyberman committing suicide.
Hmm.
I mean, no one else that I can recall, no one else did that back in
Hmm.
Dragon Ball. I don't think so. I don't think any enemy destroyed themselves in hopes of destroying Goku or any of them. I hope that I'm not wrong with that, but just trying to recollect on that, I don't think so. But that also then allowed the other Z fighters, including like Piccolo and all them, um, to know that these Cybermen did not care about their own well-being.
Yeah.
So, and then that made them more cautious, and then they were able to then maybe even hold out longer,
Hmm.
for Goku. But no, then here's the issue. Here's the issue. If the Cybermen were stronger or as strong as Raditz,
Yep. That's what they're
and
supposed to be deemed as. Yep.
and and it was only 1 year prior
Hmm.
that Raditz showed up, in which he was smoking the shit out of Goku and Piccolo.
Yep.
My question then is, what caused like all of them to have that high of a power jump in 1 year
Hmm.
when they must have not done shit within the first 4 years, between, Z and Dragon Ball. Like, you get what I'm trying to get at here? Like,
Oh yeah. I mean, for them not to be doing that to then in 1 year where they're training amongst themselves on Kami's lookout, I mean, if the all of them were then stronger than Goku was when he beat Piccolo in the tournament.
it's real lazy of them to think that Goku could just handle all of their problems because, I mean, Piccolo was still roaming around. It wasn't like Piccolo Jr., our Piccolo. It's not like he was dead and that there was no threat for years. I mean, there was a dude on the planet who wanted to kill everybody and
Yeah.
take over,
Yep.
and he just sat in the mountains and he was just as strong as Goku.
Yep.
Like, are y'all not putting in the fucking work to smoke his? Because that, like, if Yamcha had done the exact same training, like for 1 year, he could have went up to Piccolo, completely eradicated that entire issue, and
Yep.
then it just it goes back to just power scaling, just a little doesn't make sense.
Well, it made thing with that one meme that I shared a couple days ago, like someone talking about Raditz, how Raditz could claim to be one of the most important characters of the damn series because he dropped the bombshell of Goku having a brother, being an alien, and it's kind of funny.
You know, it
What did
just
they say? Like, oh, shows up, he introduced power levels because of the scouters, the bombshell of the franchise, one shots Goku, make Goku team up with Piccolo. You got the friend group, force Goku to give up his life to protect his son. Yeah, I mean, that has changed for, someone only being in what, 5 episodes, if that.
yeah,
And
he had a huge influence on the show. Just kind of crazy. I don't want to say kind of sad, just kind of crazy that he has. no other role in the series. No, really, hardly any mentions since.
Oh no, just being called a piece of shit and weak.
Yep, and being Goku's brother,
Mm-hmm.
like
It's one of
shit,
his.
Vegeta's worthless brother gets talked about more. Shit,
Yeah, he does. He does.
Vegeta's brother actually was discussed about calling him up to make Super Saiyan God. Like Vegeta's brother, the guy who was in a little tiny stupid ass filler movie, banging a hippo essentially, and yeah, we're having that discussion about him and this. I'm trying to remember what is his name?
Horrible.
Tarble? Yeah.
Hmm.
I can't get the look of Kaba out of my mind. Do they look the same?
No, they do. That's probably who they base Caba's look on.
Kaba is a fucking retrain.
Pretty much. Yeah, we're
That's
talking.
hilarious. I never connected that.
Hmm.
Never thought
Yes.
I'd be using Yu-Gi-Oh terms to describe a
I mean, it
character.
is. I mean, it's just there's a lot of things that have been retrained in a way in Dragon Ball.
Tarble is the fucking wall shadow in Yu-Gi-Oh terms of the
Yeah.
Dragon Ball universe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Freaking wild.
So and then obviously there's no chapter. We're waiting on the anime and and then Daima coming out in a couple months. So when
Yep,
those
yep.
come, obviously we'll talk about them. But we do have some miscellaneous things to end the Dragon Ball episode. Some of these actually don't have to deal with Dragon Ball. Mitch, you were obviously on vacation when this really was going down, and you know you're a big Iron Man RDJ fan. When you were literally about to leave for vacation, it was announced that he was shocked the world. He was coming back to MCU, not as Iron Man, but as Victor Von Doom, Doctor Doom, going to be the main bad guy, Avengers 6 and 7. And again, you were on vacation, so you weren't able to talk about it with myself and Byron on the superhero pod. Just wanted to get your thoughts on it because you did have some thoughts.
When the news officially broke, I was not excited. Um, I I actually thought that my take on it was actually going to be more unique.
Mm-hmm.
But then as the days progressed and then the world started reacting post shock, it was just obvious that there were more people who shared my take. Like I don't have a problem with Downey coming back. I don't even have a problem with him playing a different character. I personally can separate that. I know some people probably don't. They're going to be like, you played Stark, you are Stark, and there's nothing
Mm-hmm.
else that you can do for the series. I understand those concerns, but like in my mind, what I see on the screen is completely different from real life. So it's
Yep.
just if people look the same, people look the same, whatever. My problem though was regardless of how you think Marvel has done since Endgame, um, they have been pushing out um, shows and movies building up Kang.
Yep.
And and some things were obviously hit and miss. However, whenever I look back on what Disney put out,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, the things that hold on, I'm trying to pull up this list here real quick of phase four and phase five. The things that had to deal with the actual multiverse itself,
Mm-hmm.
most of them I believe did well. Um, because I mean, Spider-Man
Yep.
did Spider-Man was fantastic.
Was the first billion-dollar movie post Endgame and was the only one post Endgame before Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep. So like looking here really quick at phase four, and these are
Mm-hmm.
films. Okay. So you had Black Widow.
Should have
You
came out in
had
phase 3.
yep, yep. Should have been phase three. Way too late. Oh well.
Mm-hmm.
Not Malti. that was not a multiverse thing.
Nope.
We had Shang, the Ten Rings, not multiverse unless those rings come into play later.
Shit,
Eternals,
now we don't know if they will because
yeah,
of.
who knows? But still, it's like
That was a good one
Shang
though.
did fine. Okay, Eternals, I think, has been the biggest stain on definitely in terms of movies. You can have that discussion about secret invasion, but like
Hmm.
Eternals was such a stain on the movies that I think people just have drug all of Phase 4 down. So then um but again, nothing multiverse. Just a big ass Eternal sticking out of the ocean that no one is acknowledging until the next Captain America. Okay, whatever. So Spider-Man No Way Home comes out. Multiverse does great. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness still does well. Our expectations were too high, but
Yeah,
I mean,
way,
yeah, yeah,
way too high. People were. I've been like saying that Deadpool and Wolverine is what Multiverse of Madness should have been because God, we were expecting every
yeah.
cameo in the freaking book in Doctor
Mm-hmm.
Strange, and I wasn't expecting any besides Laura X-23 saying she was going to be in it because she had to spoil that because she wanted to go to the premiere. We've already talked about that. Besides
Yep.
her, I did not expect any cameos from anyone.
Nope.
Like the ones that we got, I was like, holy
Mhm.
fucking shit.
Nope. So I mean, like Rotten Tomatoes, it had a 74%. Favorable, mixed average reviews. Cinema Score gave it a B plus, and it made money. It made so short of $1 billion, 955. So like it did well.
Was that
And
Multiverse of Madness?
yeah, that was yep, Doctor Strange too.
Okay.
Yep. And then sorry, whenever I hopped over to Doctor Strange, then I lost. Okay. Thor. Thor was a bomb. Love and Thunder was a screw up.
Yeah, we had too
However,
much hype for that after the third movie.
yep, and the direction of that movie in terms of its themes and all that stuff just kind of hit or miss. When we're talking about cancer, for example, let's leave the funny jokes probably for
Hmm.
another day. And then Black Panther. Black Panther, I thought it was a good movie. I thought the
Yep.
first one was better,
Yep.
but
Yes.
not multiverse. So what I'm getting at is in Phase 4, the two films that had to deal with the multiverse did well. Now moving over to um, Phase 5, where the hell's Phase 5 here, real quick? Now in terms of films, Ant-Man and the Wasp, that is the one that holds some shit down because you can't introduce Kang, the baddest Kang, and then he gets seemingly killed by Ant-Man and even confirmed by the council. Like he cannot die. So that's where the misplay is. But there's tons of other Kangs. So it's like um Guardians of the Galaxy did well. I didn't see Marvel, so I don't know. Deadpool and Wolverine knocked it out of the park. So in terms of what the four movies of
Well, Marvel's had a multiversal end credit.
oh yeah with
Kelsey Grammer's
X-Men.
Beast and
Yep, Beast, yep.
all of that. But then that one was their lowest grossing MCU film like ever.
Yeah. Um and Ant-Man and the Wasp, kind of killed it. But you go to the television series dealt with um that dealt with multiverse.
Loki.
Loki, Loki
Loki season
season
one
one
and
and
two.
two, like the absolute most probably I believe that they are the most successful of their shows.
Kang was in both of them. He was in
Yep.
both.
Kang and he was great.
Mhm.
Everyone enjoyed Kang and all that he brought in his variants and whatnot, and it started to set him up better in my eyes. You got the what ifs. You got the what ifs. I thought they were enjoyable. I didn't think that you needed to watch them to make or break, but like everything multiverse related, I think was going well. it was everything that was not was getting botched a little bit here, and now we shift over to Jonathan Majors and the shit that happened with him.
which we've talked about.
Regardless, regardless of what you think about Majors, whether you think that basically he's treated unfairly, if you think that he's actually innocent, if you think he has paid his dues for his crimes, or you think that he can go and rot in a gulag in Russia, whatever you think. The fact is that um, Marvel has literally built into their storylines a way to be the way to cop out of people. Um, when they had to recast for Rhodey and others, I mean, you just had to accept it that these people did not look like who they were. But you literally have variants that do not look like the other people. I mean, you have Lokis that are the traditional Loki, that are female Lokis, that are alligator Lokis, that are kids. They are a different race. Like you literally can recast Kang and make him look whatever you want him to look like. And you can continue your story. And if you want to cut it short and do one Avengers movie and then go right, that's fine. But it's like the problem that I had with that announcement was not Robert Downey Jr. It was it was the fact that I put in all this investment into Kang, and now he's just being brushed away just because of what I perceive as a flaw in people's logic with how the multiversal arc has been going. And I mean, I had hopes to see um, Kang return in season 2 of Moon Knight.
Hmm.
That would have been badass. Or now that the X-Men have appeared, Kang could have done something with Apocalypse. I don't fucking know. I mean, you
Hmm.
got a whole bunch of Egyptian shit going on there. Um, and it's like I just feel like now I am wasting I've wasted 5 years while you tried to hype this up because now you're going to have a Fantastic Four film that's going to have to somehow introduce Doom, and then you're going right into an Avengers film, and maybe Thanos ruined it for me with the 10-year buildup of his ass. But like I don't know how you're going to get me as emotionally invested in Doom as much as what you did for Thanos or what you were building Kang up for. Getting Downing though, the only thing that I think of is that if he is not a Stark variant, like, and that's kind of built into the plot, just getting Robert back is just. I almost think it's like they're nervous. They think they're going to lose all this momentum and everything's going to die. So you just got to get Homeboy back. He won his Oscar. He can die happy now. Now it's going back to just making fucking money. Just, but I don't know. I, yeah, I wasn't. It's cool to have a Robert Downey Jr. back, and it was great to have Chris Evans back. And spoiler alert, in Deadpool and Wolverine, but
Yeah, I think with my
seems like
thing,
the
it's
base is
just
more shaky at the moment.
my biggest thing with LS stuff, and that day, there was a lot of people happy, a lot of people pissed. I was still in shock. Like I'm on more of the I'm fine with Doctor Doom, but like I just don't think the Kang stuff should have been thrown away. You could have introduced Doctor Doom throughout those movies. And my thing is that like Doctor Doom, his main rival is Reed Richards. I mean, of the Fantastic Four. So is Robert going to be in the Fantastic Four? They've already said they're going to be dealing with Galactus. And my thing is like, why are you dealing with Galactus in your first fucking movie?
Hmm.
Like, so then if you already deal with your biggest fucking threat, what are you going to do? the rest of the way. So those are my things. And I just felt like they could have recast Kang and kept the stuff going. That is just me. Like I
Yeah.
really think they should have just recasted him and kept going. Like you said 2 years ago when all this stuff was going on, they should have just recast him with the person who played the High Revolutionary in Guardians 3. He would have been perfect.
Yep. All you had to do. That's all you had to do. And no one would have, okay, internet would have bat an eye because that's just what the internet does. But like it just would have been a simple and easy fix. But nope. Um, no, it's just in the things that are coming out in the future with Galactus being the Fantastic Fours, the
First
MCU
movie.
first movie. It's like I always anticipated he would be like an Avengers level threat,
He is. He should be.
and
He
it's
eats
like
worlds.
with all due respect to all of the actors who portrayed one-time movie villains in in the MCU. Y'all were sweet. Y'all did a great job, but like with how this universe is interwoven now, if you're a villain for one movie, I am not concerned. Like you better have murdered someone and affected the movies down the line for me to actually like be concerned.
No, I get
Like
it. I get it.
I mean like I don't, Whiplash, sorry, your character might have been botched, but I'm not thinking, you're going to make or break the world. Ego, he could have, but I mean, he got smoked by the end of the movie. Um, it's like, yeah, these guys they need to have a huge impact for me to actually care about them. And if Galactus is going to show up, cool. I think it's a shame you're going to waste one movie on him. But like, I mean, I don't know what he has to do, but he has to do something that's really going to f everything up. So, but
Agreed. Agreed.
I
It's
want to say
just
something. I
go
want to say
ahead.
something about the Fantastic Four, though.
Hmm.
As you know, I didn't read the comics,
Hmm.
so so you have to take this from maybe somebody with my perspective.
Hmm.
I've heard the Fantastic Four have been, an iconic group, great superheroes.
Marvel's First Family is their official nickname.
So with the two botched films, or the
Three, yeah.
three botched films, the MCU finally gets it, and I have faith that they're going to make it sweet. However, they have they have shown in the MCU already two characters
Mhm.
of the Fantastic Four. And both times they have gotten smoked. They have gotten their shit beat fast. You
Mhm.
got Reed Richards, who was supposed to be one of the smartest men alive.
Mhm.
He wants to open up his dumbass mouth in front of Wanda and just completely ruin the Illuminati's chance of beating the Scarlet Witch. Like, shut your mouth, man. And then he gets turned into spaghetti, and then his head popped like a zit, and he's done. And I'm like, okay. Okay, whatever. And then we get Chris Evans to return. And the first second that he yells flame on and we all get pumped, the one person that he fights is Pyro of all people, the mutant that can control fire, and he sucks the flames out of him until he falls on his face and then he gets freaking just skin ripped off by Cassandra. Like, I am not impressed with the Fantastic Four at all. I mean, they're going to have to do something crazy, and if the movie's not 3 hours long, I don't know how you do it. Because you're going to need to get me invested in all these people because I know their stories. I've seen the three garbage films, so like I have an idea as to how this all is going to work. But like, and then you gotta try to get Galactus. Okay, well, good. You got a tall order there, Feige for one movie. Okay, but so
You can run into a thing where I don't want to say it'll be like a Turtles, but people didn't really know the Eternals. People know the Fantastic Four, so I don't know if they're just going to do a quick, like, because they said it's not going to be an origin, like a quick little thing, like, all right, this is how these people got their powers and they've been living this life as a Fantastic Four and go into it. So that's probably what they're going to do.
yeah.
But we'll wait and see. I mean, there's no more Marvel movies until the next year with Captain America: Brave New World starting that off. But on some other things, we already talked about the anniversary. So, Mitch, Olympics were going on and wanted to talk. And obviously, you ran track very successfully in high school. Mitch, the USA 4x1. It's been almost like 20 years, but that we haven't had a successful really 4x1. The one time that we were super good, I mean, it just, we had Usain Bolt in the way. But this past Olympics, man, it was that handoff. It was bad. It people now the whole world is starting to get on the USA men's 4x1 team.
It is. I this is like this is equivalent to the Buffalo Bills, man. They four straight Super Bowl losses. It's like it's approaching that kind of territory of like, what the fuck is going on here? I just can't believe the constant failure of the 4x1 team. No, I know that, some defenders will say, well, Noah didn't run because of COVID. And, he would have, they trained with him being whatever. I don't care what anyone says. The fact is that you have backups. You practice with those backups. This is the goddamn Olympics. Like, this is all you do. All you do is fucking practice and with that goddamn baton. And there are kids in high school and middle school who can figure this shit out. And it's like, we got disqualified because we didn't get the handoff right in the first leg. Oh my God. Amateur hour. Come on. Like, it's just, it grinds your brain until it's the size of a peanut. And it just makes you just want to absolutely flip out. It's, It's painful, man. It's painful. And Carl Lewis, the only thing I wish that he would have said was more cuss words because I can only imagine what his thought was whenever, or what he actually said, not on Twitter, but actually what verbiage he put out into the universe. Because he toned it down, as far as I'm concerned, whenever he tweeted that, we need to blow this all up and just start over. This is ridiculous. Um,
Yeah,
and
I
like
mean, it was bad, bro. It was just bad. Like, you're taught in when you're practicing for those relays, especially. I mean, I don't know what you guys use. We used to use a tennis ball. Like, you would
Mhm.
place the tennis ball where you like know when that
Oh yeah.
person's running towards you, and they usually yell stick. Once they hit that tennis ball, that's where you start going because that's where you've been practicing. Because you
Hmm.
know that that person's still going to be able to close the distance between you. You're going to be able to reach your arm back, grab the baton, and go. The fact that that person he could not catch up to the second leg, and it just looked so damn bad.
And we're talking about the 100.
Hmm.
Talking about the 100. We're not talking about a 4x2 or a 4x4 where you might be a little bit more exhausted, and you know that person who is on the third set or second, third, or fourth leg, they have to adjust their speed a little bit. I mean, if you're in the 4x1, you should be able to almost run at full speed. If not, if you're running under 75%, I think you're about to get smoked. But like you should have enough practice to know how quick the backup is. And if you think the backup is slow as dirt, then you receive that baton as early as you can in the exchange zone. You get it out of their hands and you give it to somebody faster. And then they just run it and then you just work it. It's it it's like it's the most basic thing in my eyes. And I ran when I ran the 4x1, I was the first leg. I was the best out of the box in my school, and um and I ran the fastest. I ran the 11.2, so I caught up to the second leg pretty good to the point where we would exchange the baton later in the zone. So then the second person on the leg would exchange it in the second zone early. So then they ran the least amount. Like there's a strategy with it, and probably even more so on an Olympic scale. God. And like what you said earlier, I mean, the 1 year that the 4x1 team absolutely flawless perfection, or with Tyson Gay and that, and whatnot, they run the 4x1 so well that they tied the world record time before that race. They tied it. And they got fucking silver because Usain Bolt's 4x1 team beat them. How in the fuck do you run the fastest 4x1 that had ever occurred or tied that had ever occurred in human history only 40 seconds before the race started? And you get fucking silver. Like the the 4x1 team, the men's US 4x1 team, they are cursed. They are cursed. I can just hear the Rome or the Greek gods. They are just they're looking down and they're like, yeah, fuck the USA, fuck them.
No.
They just cursed them. It's
It's
wild.
got to get changed because it's going to be in the United next Olympics is in the United States.
Oh, it's in
And
LA, and if they don't get gold in that, it oh my God. I don't want to make the joke and say it's going to be, like the LA riots part two, because, the LA riots were actually dealing with way more serious topics, uh, in with what's going on with our country. But I mean, like, people are going to absolutely flip shit, and it ain't gonna be good. It ain't
oh
gonna be
no,
good.
no, no, no. We shouldn't. The fact that I'm seeing a 4x1 that was won by Canada and Jamaica wasn't even there, and United States got DQ'd. Yeah, if that happens again in LA, it ain't gonna be good.
What a weird year for as Jamaica not even
Well,
making.
they're gonna come back in 2028 ready.
Oh yeah. Jamaica's that's the thing why we can sit here and talk about the US and that they need to work, they need to do better, and they better come back with a vengeance. If you if you don't think Jamaica is in the exact same boat, if not worse, worse, they might be more pissed off than what we are.
Yeah.
You just don't hear about it because, well, it's fucking Jamaica. You can't discount them. Not at all. They'll bring Usain Bolt out of fucking retirement at that point.
Or Johan Blake and all them guys. They'll just bring everyone back. I mean, shoot, it took us 10 billion years to finally get an 100 champion again.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
we need to get a 200 champ too. So we'll figure out. Mitch, anything else, man? We were very, talked to Dragon Ball, talked some Marvel, and then even threw in some track.
Uh, One more thing about track. I want to get this female's name up here real quick.
Hmm.
Meter. Uh, I want
Gotta
to give
be
a shout out to who ran.
400 hurdles.
Yeah, Sydney.
Yep, the one who keeps breaking her own world record.
Sydney McLaughlin.
Hmm.
Leverone, if I pronounce her name correctly. If I mispronounce it, Sydney, I please accept my apologies. I want to give her absolute props
Mhm.
because she is running. She ran that 400-meter hurdles in 50.37 seconds.
Yep.
I am. I can't believe that she does not openly run the 400.
Hmm.
I cannot because the fact that she's running, she is about to break the 50-second record or barrier for hurdles, 400 hurdles. If you were a male in high school and you ran a 50-second 400,
Hmm.
you're going to state. You're going to state.
Oh
You're
yeah.
you are you are you are you are competing for all state, all Ohio for us, whatever. And in my prime, I never broke the 50-second. So I think I ran my 400, no hurdles. I think I ran mine in like maybe 52, probably close to 53 seconds. And I think I was zooming. And the fact that Sydney can run that in 50 seconds with fucking hurdles in the way, oh my God. Fucking absolute kudos to her. That was kudos to her. Also, kudos to Quincy Wilson, um, who won um, the 400 men's 400-meter big. It was either Quincy Hall or Quincy Wilson, and I can't think which one because one of them ran the 400, and then one was on like the 4x4 team that
Hmm.
also. Uh,
Well, one of the Quincy's, the one who's on the floor, was the 16-year-old who it's kind of funny, you win a gold or whatever, and then you're going back to algebra class.
yeah, that's Quincy Hall. Quincy Hall is the one that he rounded the last turn in the last 100. He was like in, I don't know, fourth, fifth, sixth place, something like that, and then he just dug down and he just fucking he got gold on that. Kudos to that guy. That was amazing.
Yeah.
That's some good shit. So there you go. Just wanted to show some love to the 400-meter runners because that shit ain't easy.
No, no, it's not. No, it is not. All right. With that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C pod podcast. We talked about a lot of cool things like 4 year anniversary, some mostly Dragon Ball, obviously, some Marvel, some track and field. Mitch made some Yu-Gi-Oh connections, but then, last time you haven't listened, Mitch was part of the tag team that won the dual day. You've probably already watched the review on that. And I mean, Mitch, ever since that last place finish a couple years ago, you've won an event every year.
Well, even if I didn't, well, actually, honestly, I needed to win that tag team because even though I had a very memorable moment in the free for all, um, uh, hint hint, go listen to the review. Um, if I mean, I technically got last place in that thing
Yes.
since uh, since I'm the one that took the final effect damage
Hmm.
from that one. So, and because of the length of the just the day itself. I mean, I got my singles done, uh, fairly late into the night, but I only had to duel Byron, which I won that, but then I dueled you. Basically, I had to have a perfect record of 5-0 to win duel day, and you're my second opponent, so like I instantly lost. So like my record was just 1-1. So it was
Yeah.
like if Patrick and I didn't get that tag team together, then yeah, I would have been probably dead last this year.
Yeah, but you didn't, and you've won an event ever since. I mean, and you've won a new event each year.
Oh, well, I guess
Singles is next, then if you keep the projecting going.
Nope, just we'll see though. So I mean, it was good. It was fun though. But
Yeah, now it's fantasy football time.
yeah, time to get my ass kicked in that. So
Oh man. With that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. Signing out. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.